Greetings, and welcome back yet again to the dark lands of Barovia, shining a little brighter after the last time, where our group, despite being split, managed to fend off the deadly revenants that were pursuing them from their earlier transgressions at Argenstolt, and the other half of the party, who successfully managed to repel Strahd von Zarovich. For now. We resume with Sasha's half making their way back to town, and Siguror's half recuperating from the battle that just took place. I already know what y'all are doing. What about y'all?
When Strahd was beaten, is Irina still asleep? Like this?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, and does Ismark snap out of it, or?
He seems to.
Okay, good.
His sword lowers, but he's still personally affected by what just happened.
Alright, then going to, fuck. So Irina's asleep is the big thing.
Give her a kiss and you should go.
No, just shake Ismark a little bit and pick up Irina and
You reach out and Ismark kind of moves your hand aside. Esmeralda looks over Irina. She should be awake in about a minute. We must hurry. The others are waiting for us by now.
Exactly. I'm gonna just pick up Irina gingerly because I know she was decently hurt, and we'll go.
This is true. Esmeralda remarks, though, now we must get horses. That bastard has killed all of ours. Well, come.
I didn't see many in this town. Or actually, any, right? We haven't seen any horse in this town whatsoever.
No, but like when you visited the burgomaster's place, you saw some animals. So the claim of them not having stuff is, is not true. So they may have horses.
Okay.
In character, I'm going to say because they didn't trust you. Out of character, I just forgot the part where the book says, no, they have stuff. Don't forget this. You're a little ways down the path, and so now you take up running, or at least Esmeralda does. You can obviously do what have you.
Oh yeah.
Ismark will obviously follow.
Because going through my head, I will vocalize. If he was here, he probably directed the main of his attacking forces on the others. You have to hurry.
It takes, obviously, a little while before you reach the town, but when you do, you eventually run into a group of guard, some of whom are obviously wounded, a number of others who are tired, and you recognize the burgomaster from before, who is looking over the men, and some other townsfolk are coming up and doing what they can with mundane medical skill. The master sees you and says, "Oh, your friends, they came through here. They drew the revenants off."
Revenants. Did not think that they would be coming here.
Well, neither did we. This is the first time that such a thing has happened. Well, I'm just glad that they were here to help.
There was a march on the Abbey. We stopped it. The Abbey did not... The walls of the Abbey were not penetrated. We were held back a decent amount. We must continue to make sure our allies are safe. How are the rest of your people?
They are fine. It seems that it was just them. there was still more than a match for some of us. Though, no one died. But I won't keep you. If you must go, go.
Did Irina wake up at this point? Or,
Yeah.
like, while we were trying? Okay.
It lasts a minute. It takes far more than a minute to, like, get down.
Right. That's right. Okay. Which way?
He points. That way.
Okay. Let's start booking it that way. 18
On foot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start taking off because I'm not really thinking about it. Honestly, I'm just thinking about getting there as fast as possible. I'm honestly not thinking about it. Just wait. You ask them for horses. I'm just moving. This is not dawning on me at all.
The group of you race to rejoin your allies. Meanwhile, Sasha and Crack are advancing back towards the town. Is there any special way that you are approaching?
Aside from on a Phantom Steed?
Yeah.
I mean, the Vistani are probably still in the woods, so we'd probably be rolling stealth. Or do you mean aside from that?
No.
Like a direction? Okay.
I just meant like any special way that you are approaching or anything special that you're doing.
No, we're gonna try to keep a low profile in case the Vistani and the wolves are still after us.
Stand on horses back near
Then go for it.
Okay. 7.
17. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for an 18 here.
About you hear people in the woods, so you definitely know that like people are still out there, but you have a relatively easy time of avoiding them. The most interesting thing that you happen to see is there's a point where you think you're about to be spotted by a Vistani like on wolfback, only to see like the wolf like buck the Vistani off and start growling at it. The Vistani starts angrily chastising the wolf, but the wolf does not seem intimidated. They aren't like looking at you, so it's relatively easy to scoot around. Obviously, it takes a little while, but eventually you come within sight of the town, but more closely, your other comrades, though they are horseless and appear to be injured.
What happened?
After you took off, there was an ambush. A few zombies were raised and Strahd himself showed.
Esmeralda contributes, it was quite more than a few zombies, though they were relatively easy to defeat. I am more impressed with your friend's efforts. Together we were able to rebuff the beast.
Send him back, but if I remember correctly, it was only temporary, from what you have said before.
It may not be. This is just a suspicion. Well, no, it's not. I've heard that if a vampire once slain cannot reach its coffin in time, if it's too far away, for instance, then it will be destroyed. Though I'm not sure if Strahd abides by these rules.
I fear he moves too quickly. He can also... He is not returning to the castle. It is not just a coffin they must return to. It can also be the dirt in which they first turned. The Amber Temple is much closer. that is where he'll go. I fear our enemy will be waiting for us.
Will he be at full strength when he revives?
Yes.
I've heard terrible things about that place. There's no telling what kind of darkness that he could rally there. But we must do our best not to let that sour the victory of the moment. You two are in one piece in coming to us, so you've done our share of the work, I take it.
The revenants are defeated, but they will hound us forever. Once they have gained an object of vengeance, they can find them no matter where they are. That is how Strahd found us.
I am familiar with this, having dealt with a few in my time. I am curious what you have done to offend them so.
We oppose Strahd.
They believe that his existence is torment for his deeds, and that he suffers. While I feel they may be correct in some respect, the damage it does to other people is unacceptable, and I had words with their leader. He will attempt to stop us as long as we oppose Strahd.
And his order will follow his orders.
Yes.
I would hardly call this kind of thing atonement. And to drag everyone else into his punishment. Very selfish. I thought they wore the garb of knights, but perhaps they wear the garb of something else.
Something seems to have changed them.
This land turns men into beasts.
One of them, at least, still seems to hold on to themselves, but they're still bound by their word of following their leader.
An oath.
Ismark asks, in a low voice, what now?
During the fight, Strahd had used fire magic and killed the horses.
I see.
He also had put Irina to sleep mid-combat. Felt he tried to put me as well.
Irina actually, reacts to you saying that. She doesn't say anything, but she definitely... You get the impression she'd kind of hoped that wouldn't come up. She kind of looks to the side. Ismark clarifies, I meant... Are we... going somewhere? Are we...
The woods are full of Vishtani. At least 60 of them. Riding wolves. There could be werewolves there as well. They are looking for us. We managed to evade them at first, but it will be harder with a larger group. Additionally, without horses, our movement will be slowed. Although it is risky, Strahd will take at least a day to reform. So will the revenants.
So it is our path to the temple to confront him again, or
No.
to continue?
I say we rest here, recover our strength. Then we leave and head back to Vallaki.
Continue with the plan. Although I assume the townspeople will be a bit more accepting of not going and tending to their people, allowing us to go in their stead.
Hopefully.
The town has sustained decent damage, but they state no casualties.
Siguror's hunch proves to be correct. While there are guards, nobody even says anything as you advance back in. Even with your new ally seemingly paying her no mind as well. You are more than free to go back to the Abbey and rest, or do something else.
I think we should rest in town. The Abbey has corpses. The revenants could spawn there. While I do not fear for the abbot, if he is a deva, he should be able to handle some revenants. They will not attack the townspeople soon if we are out of town.
The townspeople will get in their way and try and stop them if they are seen.
I will tell them not to.
We'll also...
As Baroda shakes a finger, no, this is a good idea. It is very unlikely that they will try to hide their presence being here, we could likely get an alarm before they approach.
Yes. And if we rest, we should be able to recover before any of them awaken. Hopefully by then the Vistani will have moved on. And if not, we will attempt to sneak past them then.
Do they take as long to reform Strahd?
Out of character, they all take a day, right?
That's your knowledge.
Yeah.
That is also your knowledge of conventional vampires, so.
Right. Strahd may recover faster.
It's a good baseline at the very least.
But if he recovers as fast as a normal vampire, it will take a day, which is what it should take the Revenants as well. If we rest immediately, we should be able to leave in the cover of night. It'll make it easier for the Vistani to hide, but it will also make it easier for us as well.
I saw the mayor on the way out. He should still be there. We could inform him of the plan and advise them to tend to their people instead of allowing us to go.
Yes. I think we should do this.
Out of character, wouldn't a long rest have you leaving again, like during the day? I want to
It's
say
the
this
morning,
happened
right?
in like early morning.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I guess we would leave during the day. Or just, since we didn't get a long rest before, we can finish our long rest.
Nah.
How many hours
You
were
could
we
do
short?
either.
Like 2 or 3 hours?
I want to say it's 3.
Okay.
They'll
So we can
likely-
rest for 3 hours, get our
Like-
long rest.
Likely, like, the guards will need a bit, though they may... Dutiful, they may go when you go regardless.
Well, we're going to convince them not to come. with
We're going
us.
to try to, because they need to tend to their people and their town. Because this could happen again. And if they send their guards,
Well,
well...
we can always say all that in character.
Yeah.
I will, do I see the Burgomaster? Well, I don't see anything. Does Sahar see the Burgomaster anyway?
It takes a little bit, but you are eventually able to find him. He's, like, with a couple of other town guard, and he's, like, heading in direction of his home, but, like, not quite.
Burgomaster.
He turns. Ah. Yes, the travelers who helped save us from those monsters.
Yes. I hope that, I'm glad that none of your people were too seriously injured or lost.
Well, thanks to the two of you drawing them off. You're
Yes.
just about close.
Well, unfortunately, in the attack, the rest of my people lost their horses. I was wondering if it would be possible to purchase some from you. I know you do not use or much care for money, but
We may be able to work something out.
thank you. My comrades and I will also need a place to rest for a short time before we leave. And we ask that you do not go to Vallaki. That is where we are headed. We will obtain the dress and we will bring it back. The road is dangerous. It is more dangerous than you know. It is not just wolves, not just Strahd's servants. Strahd himself hunts the night. He is looking for us. If you travel the road as we do, you will be in danger.
He is the one that attempted to attack the Abbey. We managed to drive him back temporarily.
At great cost.
It would be best if we spoke of this after you rested.
Do they provide a place for us to rest?
We're not going back to the Abbey?
No. That's 2 hours we're just adding for no reason.
Yeah, travel.
You just had a talk about how it would be smarter to not rest in the Abbey. Remember
Also,
there was
because
that part
zombies could form there.
where you
Duh.
were like, but are you sure?
I misunderstood. Sorry.
So if they provide a place for us to rest.
If you ask, the burgomaster is willing to put you up in his place.
Really? Perhaps a different place would be best. Your son does not seem to respond well to my presence. Not to impose.
I do not believe there is another place, but I would not worry about him.
Maybe.
He is calm down some
I
sense.
believe I might find somebody who might be willing.
That is fine. Let us just hurry. Whatever it is.
I'm forgetting his name. I know it was told to me once.
Hmm.
And
Burgomaster is
His
probably
name.
the only place that has extra space, though.
his home seemed to be fairly large. If he is fine. Of course.
Well, if he's awake, you may ask. Otherwise, my home is open to you.
There's no reason you need to refuse the Burgomaster's hospitality. I will go and stay at this man's home. I will tell him that I'm a friend of you. I don't want to impose on him too much. Putting up 7 people is probably fairly difficult. I will, once we have rested, I will meet back with you.
So you're splitting off from...
Yeah, basically, I don't want to set the kid off. Because despite what the Burgomaster says, Sasha still, he knows that he fucked with his mind, and he knows that if he comes back around, he's probably going to freak out. At least that's what Sasha thinks. So he wants to go stay at the other guy's house.
He may still freak out a little bit if it's us, but if you're not there...
If I'm not there, probably not as bad. So I want to go stay at that guy's house.
Thinking about the other NPCs. Are you going to? For purposes of, like, description.
If he has
I'll
lodged...
ruin it now. I'm not planning a surprise attack if you guys... That'd be cool, but I'm not.
If he has lodgings for everyone, then I'll take him up on it. Definitely.
Okay.
I'll make sure everybody else is seen to first.
For what it's worth, he does, but it's a little cramped. Ultimately,
If anything, Crack and Ismark and I could like share a room to make it easier.
well, however the cards fall, Esmeralda decides to stick with you for her own reasons. Ismark and Irina end up at the Burgomaster's place. You can pick, Crack can pick.
Burgomasters.
And you all settle in for a rest for the remainder of one. And are successful at doing so. While it is still a cold and uneasy sleep, it is the easiest uneasy sleep you've had since you've come to this land.
Okay.
And barring any changes to the plan, it is the early hours of the morning when you awaken again.
And now, walking right and early to the front, because I assume we're meeting in front of the Burgomaster's house without disturbing the rest of the people in the house.
Yeah, I'll head to the Burgomaster's.
That's sufficient. For what it's worth, people at the Burgomaster's place have a bit of a heartier breakfast than those at the other place. It's a slight difference that you guys wouldn't really know, but it's just in there. One has a little more money than the other.
Just probably the richest people of the town.
Well, they don't really.
The Burgomaster is clearly still tired. You get the feel that he went to bed like after you guys, if he
Right.
has at all. Though he holds himself fairly well, all things considered. I hope your rests were well.
Yes, they were. No,
Is yours.
as we discussed earlier, we have coin, although if you have no use of that, I understand. We also have treasures, if coin does not interest you.
Neither of those should be necessary. You have aided us, and it is only natural that we aid you in response.
Horses are very expensive here.
And hard to come by.
I did not quite understand what you meant. My apologies. I think perhaps it might be best if we lent you some horses instead of selling them.
We can return them to you when we come back with the dress.
We don't have too many. We should be able to spare 3, not including the ones of those who go with you.
Burgomaster, I must insist, it is dangerous for you to travel with us.
It is also risking the town. It is still recovering.
I am well aware
You will need
of both things, and I will not be going myself. There is a retinue that will be headed by my wife that will be going with you. And I assure you it is not a decision that is made lightly. There is a matter of honor, if you will. Though you have proven very willing to help us, which we are grateful to this blessing that the Morning Lord has bestowed upon us, I could not and will not ask that you perform this task completely for us.
These horses, are they the only you have from the town?
They're the only that we will be able to spare. Out of character, he will need to be convinced to not have people go with you.
I will say to him,
Yeah, we can extract something.
Or alternatively, you can let them.
We can do this for them, return it, and they can give us the horses if we complete what we set to do. And they may see that as proper payment.
this matter of honor that you speak of, it is a lack of payment or a lack of action that drives it.
Neither. It's simply we have been bade a task and we will do it. I will gratefully accept any assistance that you are willing to lend when the place is dangerous.
The
But I
abbot,
will not put it on you completely.
the abbot asked you to retrieve a dress. He did not ask you to go personally or to send your wife. He merely needed you to send someone. We can be those someone.
As long as you obtain it, the means should matter not if no circumstances or rules were given.
I assure you it is not the same. When I say convinced, I mean above and beyond just normal talking to. It is his upbringing as a noble that guides him in this decision. Though you can tell, well, okay, you can't, because he's got a better mask than that. But he, out of character, probably would like to just put it on you if he were any other person. If he were a normal townsperson, he'd probably be like, sure, go for it. See ya, but he's not.
The revenants we faced drove off, and our allies managed to defeat. They can come back. They can choose any body to come back
Hold on.
into.
He said he's not going to be convinced through talking.
No, I'm basically going to be trying to intimidate him. Like, not through
Cool.
directly scaring him, but, it's like, think of your town, you may kill it if you don't do this.
I didn't know that's what you were going
Yeah,
for.
sorry, I should have
So-
stated. I'm going to attempt to intimidate him, but not the just super scary intimidate. Different type of intimidate. And they can choose anybody to come back. The corpses of of townspeople that have laid to rest here. Anybody's over at the Abbey. If they're to come back and your town has lessened defenses, it may be enough for them to overrun it. It is not a smart or a good decision to thin the numbers of the town with the dangers that it faces now. We are not a part of the town. You will let us go in your stead, otherwise you will be risking killing your own people. And because of the feature of Rune Knight, one of the runes I picked gave me advantage to intimidate checks.
I see.
$11.
Doesn't even matter anymore. Give me.
Does he look unconvinced?
It wasn't a bad idea,
Oh, I already used the inspiration.
but from the response that follows, you get the feel that like appealing to the case of how dangerous it is and what that danger could mean for the town is something that like he's already thinking about. It could have worked, but you had kind of nodding.
Okay. How about? Hold on. How many people are in the room right now?
I'm gonna say just the burgomaster and you guys because like when he was going to talk to you about stuff and he knew you wanted to talk to him,
Okay.
other people like filtered out.
Good.
There might be a servant banging about, but like not directly part of the conversation.
Dice are not.
Are they in the room at all?
Yeah, there's like a servant, like maybe. There's like a servant who's like maybe getting a plate out of the way.
Is it the one that was escorting us around and out the house?
No, it's different.
Oh.
See how. Or like she's waiting to do so. She doesn't want to interrupt what you guys are doing.
If you want your people to come with us, I suppose there's nothing we can do to persuade you. But there's something I must discuss with you in private, just you and me, before it happens. It has to do with your son.
Then, very well.
Okay.
He gets up.
Oh, okay, because I was about to you get up and...
You guys head to the den.
Just forgot to write the details of the two rooms I picked.
Okay. Once we're in a room alone, I will cast suggestion, and I will say you will keep your people here and your wife safe. And I'm going to use my portent to have him roll a 3 on his wisdom saving throw.
Out of character, isn't that 2?
Then just you will keep all your people here. That probably includes his wife, logically. So.
His wife is probably part of the town.
Well, it works in that he responds to you.
Yeah, it does. I'm glad we have an understanding.
Yes.
Once we come out, I will say thank you for seeing our side of things. We will return the dress to you, and thank you for lending us your horses as well.
Yes. It's the least I could do.
Yes. Once we're outside, I will say, well, he has been made to see reason. They will not be accompanying us.
Good. We are done here for now then?
Yes. Let us take the horses and go.
You are able to do so.
I'm a bad person.
Your journey to...
With good intent.
It is consistent. I didn't want to outwardly frown because it's a game, and you should be able to do what you want without GM frowning at you.
I mean, it's not an evil act. People could argue it's kind of
It's a
fucked
little
up,
evil.
but it's for a actually good, legitimate reason. Not so you say, I'm doing it for a good reason.
It's morally gray at best.
The travel back to Vallaki is...
So, are we just going to skip back on the travel back to Vallaki? Because I have something I want to do on the first night.
Kind of. There's technically something that's going to happen during it, but it's not super major. It's not for the first night. So
At the end of the first night, I will say,
actually, there are two things that happen over there.
I will sit down and I will say, I will need someone to watch out. I am attempting a spell. And I will use prestidigitation on my book to have it just up to the page I need, one of my newly acquired magics, and I will begin incanting.
I will do it. Irina remarks.
Also, just unholster spear and put it next to me so it's easier to grab just in case. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know, trying to summon something or what. Fucking.
Sasha's eyes roll into the back of his head as he sits with his legs crossed, and he pulls out a owl feather quill. It's actually one of Sahar's feathers that he has been plucked from while he's been sleeping. He dips into an ink and he begins writing on a sheet of parchment as he incants. Tlan ukbar orbis turretis, tregana mekudos and trecomsets satisdi, ingiram imas nocte et consumi morigni. Caput garat lupinium. And as he finishes casting, dream. Now I'm going to read to you what dream does, because it's a bit of a spell.
I am intrigued. I've heard of it before, but I remember nothing about its effects.
This spell shapes a creature's dreams. Choose a creature that is known to you as the target of this spell. This creature will be Strahd von Zarovich. The target must be on the same plane of existence as you. Creatures that do not sleep cannot be contacted by this spell. But that's why I asked, does he technically have to rest in a coffin? You said yeah. You, or a willing creature you touch, enters a trance state, acting as a messenger. The target will be me. While in this trance, the messenger is aware of his or her surrounding, but cannot take actions or move. If the target is asleep, which he should be because he's still reforming, the messenger appears in the target's dreams and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep through the duration of the spell, which is a duration of 8 hours. Hold on. The messenger can also instead shape the environment of the dream, creating landscapes, objects, and other images. The messenger can emerge from the trance at any time, ending the spell effect early. The target recalls the dream perfectly upon waking. If the target is awake when you cast the spell, the messenger knows it and can either end the trance and the spell or wait for the target to fall asleep, at which point the messenger can appear in the target's dreams or shape them as he wishes. Now, there's a bit of extra effect about how I can make myself appear monstrous and terrifying. Then they have to make a wisdom saving throw or take 3d6 psychic damage and don't gain the benefits of a rest. He has legendary resistances, so that's pointless and it's not what I'm going to do. I'm also not going to appear to him either. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dream. And in this dream, he will see his wives consorting with us, giving us information. I will pick one of the wives at random to have given me the staff and told us the location of the book. I will basically set it up so that he thinks his wives are betraying him because they're pissed off at Irina. This dream will seem completely real to him, and he will remember it with perfect clarity upon awakening. He won't know it's me because I choose not to appear as the messenger.
And if you're not going to be speaking...
And I'm not attempting to terrify him so he doesn't get a wisdom save. It's just a dream that he remembers with perfect clarity. And it feels real.
How very interesting.
And then I will awaken. However long it takes me to craft that dream, I'm assuming half an hour.
I'm gonna go with hour.
Okay.
You feel not an active resistance, but like you're building atop really moist mud that stuff easily sinks into. So part of the effort is not letting this stuff be drawn into said muck and flavored, perhaps soured. It is difficult, but you are up to the task. You've woven a dream of deception, and it is, it remains to be seen whether or not that will affect him.
Good.
No, what effect it will have, I should say. I didn't want to hint that it wouldn't. I wanted to say something else, and I did.
Turn his allies against him.
We're trying.
However, being curious, Irina asks, once you're done, maybe giving you like a couple of minutes of breathing room, what did you do?
I have crafted a vision and sent it to Strahd.
A vision?
Yes. I would explain, but perhaps it's best that I show you.
Sure.
But first it is time to rest, yes.
Mm.
And, Irina, I'm going to place a hand on her arm and I will say, I am sorry for what happened. I said I would not fail you again, and I have. You were wounded on my account again, and I promise, although my words do not mean as much of late, that as long as I draw breath, Strahd will not have you.
I'm sorry too. As your student, I failed to stand up to his magic.
I did as well the first time I faced him. You have nothing to apologize for. It is a master's failing that reflect poorly on a student, not the other way around. That is what my master told me, and he was a far wiser man than I was.
Did it make you feel better?
No. But it was true, and that means something.
I suppose.
I also must apologize for stopping you from reaching out for the pond. I became frightened on what was happening. I told you once that you have to make decisions for yourself and no one else can make them for you. And in a moment of rash action, I stopped you from being reunited with your beloved. And I'm sorry for that as well. It was rash.
It is understandable. I'm not quite sure what I was doing myself. Or even if that wasn't some kind of trick. The second thing of note that happens on travel is, after like a couple of days, Esmeralda.
Sorry, I actually wasn't quite done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, I'm going to wait up for Irina to go to sleep, and then I'm going to cast a dream on her. And I'm going to appear as a messenger, and I will tell her, this is what I did to Strahd. I walked to him in his dreams. I researched this spell for two reasons. One was to attempt to subvert our enemy, turn his allies against him. And the other one was to accelerate your training. In this place, we can have as many resources. Yeah, I know I'm being Morpheus right now, and it is super safe.
In this place, I was thinking something much lamer.
Oh.
Like,
well, I was thinking it would be like Morpheus training Neo.
That look was me thinking in my head, are you about to hyperbolic time chamber? Can you hyperbolic time chamber with a dream? I don't think you can.
I am. Well, kind of. So the thing is, part of wizard training is you have to do a bunch of like practice writing in books, and you have to spend a bunch of materials. In the dream world, that doesn't have to happen. She could practice adding spells to her spell book to basically work out all the kinks so that when she wakes up, she can do it in one take, reducing the cost of training materials. Additionally, I can teach her spells in the dream, and she could just do the last part of it upon waking up. So I'm trying to accelerate her training by being Morpheus in the dream world.
That doesn't affect resting?
It will affect it for me, but not for her. That's the benefit. As I stay up in the trance. But the thing is, we have travel time, so I'll only do it every other day. You see what I'm saying?
And you can still have the effect brought up of the sanctuary that can't come in.
Yeah, of course. I cast that before, and then I enter my trance. Okay. And basically every other night until the night before we get there, because I want to be rested when we get there, but every other night, instead of resting, I'm just going to stay up in an 8-hour trance training arena.
Very interesting.
And then I'll just be really sleepy on the horse the next day, but whatever. I can do that. And if you want me to roll exhaustion checks, by the next day they'll be gone, so it doesn't really matter. And I had 2 5th level slots, so I was able to send Strahd a thing and then train Irina.
Very snazzy.
Oh, that's 5th level. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the 2 spells I took along with Teleportation Circle.
Hey,
so I
did
didn't.
The other thing.
Very interesting choice.
Yeah. I didn't take a combat spell. I didn't take a divination. I took a dream. Because I was like, this is an underrated as fuck spell.
How is that not divination? What school is that?
Illusion. Those are crafted visions.
Yeah, I guess.
That makes more sense.
On the 3rd day of travel, Esmeralda departs from the group of you, saying, I have something that I wish to attend to. I will meet back up with you as soon as I can.
Okay.
Are
you sure you do not need any of us to come with you?
No. I've fended for myself for a long time. I can do it again for just a little while.
But out of character, isn't the tower between Van Richten's tower between here and Vallaki?
I was about to say out of character like roles, but no, you're onto it. Like as you're talking to her, you realize this is about the point where his tower would be if you were trying to go to it.
Okay.
It's gonna give rolls for just happenstance, but you're
already
in that direction.
I understand. And I respect your privacy. Out of character, if she's gonna bring him with us, he needs the ring again, right? And honestly, he can find us anyway, so scrying doesn't matter. Oh, plus I have Mordecai's private thing, so I'll say, Irina, can I have the ring back?
Of course.
And I will hand it to Esmeralda when she hands it to me and say, return this to him. He lent it to us.
No. I can do that too. She puts it away, gets off of the horse that she is currently on, and leaves.
Okay. Then we'll keep going to Vallaki.
Apart from your cool shenanigans and Esmeralda's departure, your trip to Vallaki is suspiciously uneventful.
Good.
It's not like nothing is out there in the woods, but you have a particularly easy time of approach.
It takes about
5 days?
5 days? 6 days?
Okay. Like 6.
Okay.
Well, we'll just get to the town hungry.
Yeah.
And then you reach the town. You come upon it in daylight. There are guards that look down and see you coming. But before you say anything, like they just open the gates.
Good.
Alright.
I believe our first stop should be... I will turn towards the burgomaster's wife. What is her name, by the way?
Thought you told them all to stay here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I will say, okay, I will... perhaps you should go to the inn and see... Siguror, you go gather supplies. Crack, you know where the dress is, right?
I'm going there.
Then you will come with me. I need to go there anyway to see Victor. Irina, we are going to be scribing if you would like to join us, and Ismark.
I would.
You can do.
Do you?
You can go with Siguror to grab supplies, or you can come with us, although I assure you it will be very boring. Lots of writing and not much else.
I think I will go with you.
Okay.
Besides rations, is there anything else that is needed?
See about horses. The burgomaster here had horses. I assume they were claimed by the guards or something, but if not, see if you can, gather them. Gather some more. We only have 3.
That are to be returned when we are done.
Yes.
I will see what I can do.
And basically we'll split up, and I'm gonna go with Croc and Irina to the burgomaster's estate, and I'm gonna go talk to Victor, making sure to disarm the glyph of warding. Before I, do so.
I'm just double checking the price on rations because I don't 100% remember.
Where are you going to get supplies?
I know it's not what it's called, but the supply depot that I've hit before.
Okay.
Like the last.
Because you
people,
have
like,
the choice between like that or trying to buy stuff off of the inn, which is why I asked.
I'm gonna go for
You
like
can do
non-perishable supplies first. Then I'm gonna go to the tavern to eat.
I need you to recover me
Sounds sick.
10 daggers.
Any
I can give you
particular
the
kind?
gold. No, just 10 daggers.
This town does have a blacksmith, right? If I remember correctly.
I never specified it,
Oh.
and I'm not sure. They might,
They must. If they
if
have
only
all those
because
guards.
they're. Yeah, that makes sense.
They have to make those spears somehow.
They gotta be somewhere.
Also, if they have horses,
I
they need a
didn't-
horseshoe.
And hunters
I
coming
didn't.
and going in this
I
town.
didn't specify, but like
Okay.
there being guards and also normal everyday stuff like horseshoes and like pots and shit.
Everyday Barovia things. Your hashtag everyday Barovia things.
Got in some good looking the other way as cowled individuals left across our rooftop this morning. Hashtag everyday Barovia things.
Alright.
We'll go then first, since I'm just buying supplies. I'm gonna be getting the prices and stuff out of there.
Sure. You once again return to the ruined estate.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like the place has gotten any messier outside of just not being dusted since you were last here.
Fair enough. Once I reach the door, or I'll say, I will see you. And once I reach Victor's door, I will rap the door, making sure to avoid the glyph of warning, and say, Victor, I have returned.
The door opens, and Victor looks.
I have done it.
Really? He was about to like say something, but that cuts whatever train of thought like he had. Really?
You have any doubts?
Well then quickly then. I want to be out of this place.
Now, we will correct your circle. I will allow you to describe it. Of course, before you leave, there are 2 manners. Actually 3. The first of which is people are trapped here. There is a chance that the mist may prevent your leaving. Teleportation or no. I want you to be aware of this.
It can't. It can't. Not magic. Magic's strong. It's got to work.
2, if you are to leave, I want your supplier. I will stay until the work is done. I will need to know where you get these inks and wherever you get the crushed diamonds you need for the glyphs. Is this acceptable?
Sure, anything. I'm not sure how much good it'll do you. There was a servant that I asked to get the things for me. I'm not sure where he got it from.
Where's the servant?
As for... I don't know. Maybe in town if he wasn't killed.
What is his name?
His name's... He doesn't pause. I pause. His name's Manfred.
Alright, describe him to me. I have a spell of finding I can use to find him.
He describes a middle-aged man with, like, fading brown hair.
Okay.
And a pronounced jaw.
Then I will show him the teleportation circle spell and allow him to finish scribing it.
He greedily grabs it away from you and immediately sets to his work.
And I'm going to try to copy something out of his spellbook at the same time. Specifically, for some reason I didn't put the list of spells he knew up. Oh, I remember what I was adding. I want to add a Glyph of Warding. I should have time to add a level 3 and a level 2 spell out of his spellbook to my book in the same amount of time it would take him to scribe Teleportation Circle out of mine. So I'm going to scribe Glyph of Warding, and I'm going to scribe, I'm going to bring up the list you gave me.
Craig
add
is
those.
quite easily able to backtrack his way to where he saw the dress. It's a room with some decent furnishings, or at least it was. There are two things that Craig notices upon making his way back to the room that just stick out like crazy. One is that the place has been absolutely tossed like everywhere else, except for this big mirror that appears untouched, like completely. Almost like somebody like drew a picture of a ruined room and then in Photoshop like stuck the mirror on there. Like, yeah.
Weird.
The second is that the dress is no longer here.
What? Oh, damn. Okay.
Noticeable because you're looking for it. There is a knocked over torso of a mannequin that has like some cuts and some like stuffing falling out of it, like that's upended on the floor. The dress is, at least to your normal vision, not here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and knock on the door.
I'll open the door. I assume Victor's too caught up in trying to get out
Boy,
of here.
is he in equal parts happiness and fanaticism. He is very quickly attempting to do his work, almost as if he is so close he's afraid someone's going to pluck this victory from him if he's not careful and snatches it quickly. You are able to answer the door, or Irina is able to answer the door, depending on how busy you want to be. Crack sees inside that Victor kid frantically doing something magical.
Frantic magic.
I see no dress.
What?
I see no dress. It's not there. As far as I can
Your
see.
mother's dress. Who took it?
I don't know. Or actually, no. He's like, what? Dress?
Your mother's dress.
I don't know. When everybody sacked the place, maybe someone took it. I was down here, trying not to be killed. I won't have to deal with any of this anymore soon, though.
I really hope that kid doesn't kill himself.
Once I am done, once we are done with this, I will find the dress. So I must fix everything in this godforsaken place.
You are the magician.
Wait, don't you have a locate object?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Which is why I said I'll fucking fix it, 'cause apparently I have to fix everything.
Well, I mean, hey, we haven't looked around yet.
Fuck me, come on.
Meanwhile, you, Siguror, and Ismark are able to gain access to the store. The woman at the counter stiffens as you both enter and asks, how can I help you?
Hello again. I'm hoping she's in a better mood from the gold that I left. But adventurers, so whatever. We have need of member supplies once again.
And what supplies would those be?
Large amounts of rations. If you would be able to pay. Large amounts of rations. For one.
I don't think that we have any rations available, but you left some money behind before, so perhaps you could benefit from a good deal. There are some people who, from my understanding, took a lot of the food stores from the two manors a while back, and they should still have extra. Maybe they would be able to sell you some.
Who would have taken them besides the tavern and the hunters?
Just a bunch of townsfolk that wanted to see it put into
Use for
other
the town.
hands.
Use for the town.
I'm afraid I don't know much. I just know they do. Told me to tell anybody looking to come looking for them.
And do you have any yourself that you can sell from your store?
No, I don't. I'm afraid not. Sorry.
Alright.
But you really should. It's a lot of food that they have, and I'm sure it would be sold for quite cheap.
Cold weather clothing is another item that is needed.
I'm not sure. We don't really have very many clothes. We don't really do that, but perhaps those same people might have taken some clothing. I'm sure that the manors both had some fancy clothing. Cold, you said? Maybe.
I'm gonna be rolling insight on her. Now I'm starting to think she's fucking kind of string me along to get the fuck out of the store. Get out, please.
Guess I figured you all didn't go that far today.
Well, it was better than, her just, oh shit, he coming.
Oh lordy, they come.
They know that won't work because you pulled it your way in. Like, we can't stop this. This is just on the long list of things we can't stop.
I rolled a 9, so. On insight.
Well, I mean, you rolled it because you were a little suspicious, and it is a little suspicious what she's doing. You're not sure why, though.
Who would I talk to about attempting to buy horses in the town?
And she calls back behind the store. Henry, would you say the fellas who have all the food probably have any horses that like the guards aren't using? And there's like a cough from back in the store as an older man's voice comes. I suppose that would make sense. I mean, the guards are probably using theirs.
Like far back or like right around the corner?
Like right around the corner.
Okay.
Guards are probably using theirs. I'm not sure who else would have spare horses. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but He seems to know. I don't think we've ever carried horses. They're pretty difficult to take care of. That's when you have a lot of room to do something like that.
Where's the town's blacksmith? We did not attempt to locate it last time we were here. But where is it?
The blacksmith should be. If you go towards the inn and then you take a left and then you go for, I'd say about 100 feet, you should see a small building that has a chimney that's going. I think it's more than a chimney, but still, that should be the place. There should be a sign out front.
Then would you at least happen to have chalk?
I think we might. Out of character, you're looking for normal.
Yeah, it's just regular chalk. No, magical chalk that can cast spells.
Well, yes, that is the thing.
What?
There's like special chalks that you use for like one spell.
Oh
That's why I asked.
no, sorry, just regular chalk. And while she's turning around,
Because she's going to produce normal chalk.
if she's stepping away, it's like turn to his mark. I cannot think of anything else that we need, but I get the feeling they will not be able to supply us with much.
Or perhaps they won't. She seemed nervous about something.
I'm gonna give the place a quick scan, like look over. Is there anybody else in here besides these two?
Currently, no. Though, just want to roll me a perception check since you're looking around the room anyway.
Yeah. 18.
You didn't notice before because like the door was open and you just kind of walked in. But while you're like looking around, like nobody's in here, but you notice like the lock on the front door is actually like broken, like it's sticking out somewhat, and like a couple of parts of it like jut out between like the door frame and where it sets inside it.
I don't remember breaking the lock when I pushed the door open last time, right? Like it wasn't locked.
You didn't break the door. You muscled your way in through a door that was already open. And a person.
Yeah.
Seems like something's going on here.
It doesn't take too long before the woman like comes back with a bit of like chalk. It's white. It's just, or rather, it's in a bag, but like you can see like some white stains on like the drawstrings.
Okay.
Yes,
like 10 sticks worth.
This should be it. Oh, that's and she has to like rustle around for a little more.
Just a box. I think one box of chalk is like 10 sticks.
And she's like, this should be enough. Well, she doesn't have it.
Oh, okay.
And she says, this should be enough. What you were looking for. And I hope you're not giving up on horses or any of the rations just because I couldn't help you.
No. It is requirements that we need.
Well, again, should be easy enough to get.
Yes. Hopefully. Question. Has the town been seeing more trouble after we had left? I noticed the door, and apologies, but I do not remember it being locked the last time I was here. Or being broken.
Things have been fine around here. That's just an accident. I think Henry attempted to like get through the door while carrying some stuff. He was a little clumsy. No, things have been mostly quiet since you've left. Got some wine before. You can go ahead.
Yeah.
Got some I got a wine delivery not too long ago. Things are looking up.
Ah, yes. Good to hear. With our assistance to the... what were they called? Something... Wizard of Wines.
Yeah.
Our assistance to the Wizard of Wines has seemed to have gone well, then. That is a 17 on insight.
She's very clearly trying to keep her cool and keep moving. Conversation-wise.
Does it seem like she was trying to avoid discussion of the door? Like she was just trying to come up with a reason? Or did
Smooth
it
over and
sound
speed
like she-
past.
Okay.
For whatever reason, she didn't want to dwell on the explanation.
Alright. Well, thank you. And if there's anything else, we will be back. And we were, if I remember looking correctly, silver.
Yes.
It's a few silver for chalk, but yeah. I'll some silver and just be on the way. Now I'll try to close. No, the door was open when I came in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it. I've never heard of a store not having rations. It is odd.
Neither have I.
Mayhap the hunters would be a bit more willing to discuss what is going on.
Perhaps.
They
They seem to keep to themselves. And in times like these, those people seem to hold more onto themselves than others. At least, yeah. For here.
Last I remember, they were by the tavern. We'll hit
They
the
should
blacksmith first and then come back to the tavern. Hopefully by then Sasha will be close to what is needed to be done.
A good idea.
Now, out of character, I don't know what you're going there, but out of character, I know you're doing spell shit, and spell shit takes hours. So, whatever.
It is remarks. A good course of action regardless.
Perhaps
We could always kill time in the tavern if need be.
Perhaps we could actually get some food.
And a drink.
Blacksmith, I guess. Goddamn. Yeah,
To the blacksmith.
Yep,
you got
blacksmith.
Meanwhile, not an equal amount of time later, but an amount of time later, at the estate, Victor finishes and is beside himself with joy. Yes, finally, I have the locations from the book, from the study. Three, and he like turns and like shows you 3 different places. None of them here. They are spell
Let me see that.
writings.
He has 3 sigils?
Well, he had in it, yes, like details. And
Let me see that.
you'll have plenty of time to look once I'm done. I'm not going to take it with me. Actually, go ahead. I have it. And he tosses it to you.
I will copy down the 3 locations, add them. Because for Teleportation Circle, you can add new locations to the known places you can teleport. It won't help me in this campaign, but if I ever play Sasha after...
The thing is, when you look at them, they don't actually say where they are.
But they are working teleportations, right?
The writing acts like they are.
So,
In fact, the writing is actually for teleportation, but like teleportation circle, though it is like missing parts and parts of it are damaged. You can see that Victor had to try to solve it with an incomplete,
These are incomplete,
formula.
Victor. They do not say where they go.
Doesn't matter. They're not here. I know it. This book, it's not one of my father's. It must have found its way here from outside. It has to.
Yes, I agree. These probably all lead outside Barovia, but you could be teleporting yourself into a dragon's den and you would not know.
It is worth the risk.
Fine.
Shit.
3 cannot go wrong. He then casts his spell.
Oh, boy.
The magic swells and then dissipates. He looks about. No, it must just be the circle I picked. He performs it again.
Wait. Teleportation circle has a costly material component. He has multiple of them? I'm just asking. If he does,
What
that's
is
fine.
it?
50 gold worth of rare chalks and inks.
Oh, well, there we go. There we go.
He scrambles to someplace and then, pulls out. So, yes, he does.
Victor, you may be wasting them. I'm telling you, the mists probably block teleportation.
They can't!
Victor, let me show you.
No! He, hurries over, and he, unless physically restrained, does it again.
He's a boy. How old is he
Okay.
again? 14? 13? What's that?
He's like 16, 17.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure he's older than that.
Okay.
The magic swells, and the magic dissipates.
Victor, these circles do not work outside of Barovia. I am telling you. I can prove it to you.
Maybe you have to know where they go. Maybe that's it.
Victor,
You know the spell. What are the circles that you got?
out of character, what are the circles I have?
Out of character, it tells you exactly where they are when you learn it.
Yes.
Just to be sure. Out of character, you got knowledge of 2 circles that I wrote down, though they are both inside Barovia. So I won't rustle. For purposes of the scene, that's the important part.
Okay. The 2 circles I know are in Barovia.
Why would you do that?
Because I believe that until Strahd is defeated, the mist will not let us leave. There is an ancient and evil power here. Greater than Strahd even, and I think it traps us all. Strahd has control of it now. Do you know of the Amber Temple?
This wasn't our deal. Our deal is that you would give me the means to leave.
My
Why did you do that?
deal was to give you a teleportation circle spell that is completed, and I have. But until Strahd is defeated, you will not be able to teleport. I will Victor, let me show you. Do you have any more of those chalks?
He jerks from your view, holds his head in his hands, and half jerkily paces, then half jerkily paces again, muttering to himself, no. It's impossible. It's impossible to kill him. It's impossible to defeat him.
We have defeated him once already. We can do it again.
Impossible. If he's defeated, why can't I leave?
When a vampire is defeated, Victor, they return to their place of resting and reform. They must be defeated in their coffin. When we defeated him, we were in Kresik, too far away to defeat him before he rose again. But next time, it will be in his castle.
You think he'll let you have a next time?
I do not care what he thinks. We have gathered allies, powerful ones. And if you help me, we will have even greater allies still. If you want to leave, you must help us defeat Strahd. Otherwise, you will cower in this room, afraid of all those people outside until it is the death of you, as it was the death of your father.
I don't cower, and I'm nothing like my father.
Then prove it! Use your magic to help us.
I will prove it. By getting out of here. He then turns on his heel and storms up the steps and out of the room. Unless physically restrained or followed, in which case he still storms, but you'll be following him.
I mean, kind of taking the wind out of sails of storming out of a room.
God damn it. Did he leave the room?
Yeah. He like storms out of the room.
Okay.
That other
Where
extra's
did he
like,
grab? Where did he grab the chalks from?
There is a skeletal cat that like walks up. One of several that you like saw before, so you know what the deal is, and kind of like undeadly like meows after him. You saw it. There was like
I go over there. Are there any more?
a small wooden box. You go. You look. And now.
Motherfucker. Did he leave his? I assume he took his spellbook when he left.
didn't he throw it at you?
Actually. No, that was like some writing that he took inspiration from.
Oh.
His proper spellbook he still had, but like there's some like an old book that according to him is from his father's den. So I believe you like checked the den for more and didn't find any. There's no additional chalk, but I am going to say that there are a couple of other what you recognize as spell components that are stashed there. This appears to be like some secret stash of his that he had. They didn't see the need to conceal it anymore because he was going to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
What's in there?
Not to make it too easy on you, but like, I was just going to have it be stuff that could help you up to a certain cost. I'm going to say 100 gold.
100 gold. Okay, that's not enough for a glyph. Okay. So wait, is it inks or spell components? It's spell components, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I will say it's an extra 100 gold worth of powdered diamond, which is perfect. Because that brings me up just enough. I will take it, and I will say, if Irina looks at me, I will say he owes me at least this much.
She's actually like looking in the direction that he went.
Oh.
And like after you grab the stuff, she says, "It must be terrible being alone like he is.
Yes.
I hope he doesn't do anything foolish."
Do you think we should go after him?
He seems like he needs some space, but I think we should find him maybe once he's cooled off.
Alright. Let us find this dress first, and then we will find Victor. I will need to find this man too. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Long Strider on myself just to burn that spell slot, and then I'm going to cast a Locate Object spell, giving me back that spell slot because of the Expert Divination. And I'm going to attempt to locate, if it's within 1,000 feet of me, a whatever her name was, his wedding dress. That's the locate object I'm casting.
Virgo Mistress?
No, she had a name. It's been a long time. But Sasha probably remembers it. He has 20. I can roll an int check to remember if you like.
You know what? Yeah.
Do you need to know her name to cast it?
Well, it'll be more specific, so it'll have a better, It won't just find me the next wedding dress. It'll find me her wedding dress.
Oh.
Because what if there's another wedding dress in here that's just like, a peasant wedding dress? I got a 16 on my intelligence check.
Also known as a dress.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it won't work for the quest, basically.
You think you remember.
Okay. Then I will cast it and attempt to locate. And I will cast Sio Dedishi Pecto.
You attempt to and successfully locate the dress.
What is
It's in town. It's a little far away, but not like super far.
I have found it. Should we gather the others, or are they still gathering things? I think the three of us can probably handle this.
Probably. It is just a dress.
Yes. If combat breaks out, do not forget the properties of that mace we gave you.
No.
It would not work against the undead,
Right.
but the aura of fear will work on human opponents. Although I hope it does not come to that.
Me neither.
But I'd rather send guards running than send them dead.
Of course.
And, Crack?
You were able to set your course. You were heading to the blacksmith.
I
And
swear.
on your way,
Nothing's ever simple in this place.
you run into, in direct contrast to Victor, someone who is beside themselves, but with happiness. There's this guy who has like 2 armfuls of like wine bottles, and while it's clear that he's drunk, he's walking pretty good for a drunk guy. There's a point where you think he's gonna run into you, and he like does like this pad of the foot like circle swerve around you and goes, "Whoa, my bad." He doesn't say that because it was like, "Pardon me, bravest of brave, mightiest of mightiest champions. I'm sorry about that."
None got on me, right?
No.
Okay. No harm done. You seem to be in good spirits. And amongst other spirits.
I am, and I am. It's really quite a beautiful day. It's been quite a beautiful day ever since those awful bastards were gotten rid of. But you would already know about that. It's been wonderful ever since. I myself am particularly well off without them. Given, well, okay, aren't we all? Given the idiocy of the former burgomaster and the almost equally infectious, let's call it, idiocy of Madam Watcher. It's really, really wonderful to finally be in the care of Father, what's his name, and ourselves.
Like, does he actually say that?
Yes.
Huh.
In fact, I think more towns should be like this. It's better. It's nicer. Easier.
Has something happened to the father?
Oh no! I'm sure he's still fine. Everything's fine. We're fine.
I guess all is well then. Sorry, I'm not there.
It's fine.
Didn't mean to hold you up, just,
Perhaps you would know then. We tried to find an amount of rations from the general store, but they had stated that they had none. We are going to be traveling again and we are short. They simply said to ask around town. I seemed it odd, but...
He gets a wide smile on his face and, like, narrows his eyes. Pauses for a moment and says, "Well, good luck with that."
If you would like, we do have means that can be used to trade information.
He's preparing to go, but then stops and goes, "Means, you say? What kind of means? I have plenty of means, but I could always have some more."
So question, does this guy look familiar at all? Like, this doesn't look like the guy that took my shit and ran.
He does
right?
not look familiar.
Okay. And he's not one of the Watcher kids, like, at all.
Nope.
Okay. Make sure one didn't, like, slip under the radar.
Well, I mean, if there's a third Watcher child that you never heard of, maybe. This dude's not a child, he's a man.
Fair. Let's see. Remembering Sasha trading gold for information. In our travels, we have come across coin.
Ooh. My favorite. Though, it depends on what you want from me.
Well, if you are amongst some of the people that got some of the large store of rations that was stated, perhaps we could purchase some off of you.
Oh, I'm definitely not. But, might be able to get you some.
Besides the hunters and the tavern, who did it? Obviously, besides the father.
There's a group of townspeople, I guess. I'd be more than happy to introduce you to them, if that's what you like. Do you want to go now, or?
Yes. I'm assuming these people have gained a lot in the absence of the two.
Oh, you could say that. I'd say maybe they lost a little something more, but, well, you know.
I'm automatically going to the mind of this is just a fucking militia that rose up in town is taking control under fucking everybody's nose. That's Siguror is assuming. And I'm going to try to get as close as I fucking can to this.
Well, just let me know when you want to go. I was heading back to the tavern for a refill myself. You know, like, gestures with the bottles that he's got.
This is not back that way, pointing the direction that we are going. Because,
Mm.
Or did we already pass the tavern to go to the blacksmith?
It says, sometimes they take little detours. Don't worry about it. I'll be there. You know where to find me. He then goes on his way, and as he exits, we will exit very briefly. Welcome back. Unfortunately, Ed had to step out for some stuff and won't really be back in time, so we're going to have to leave it off here. Hope you tune in next time. And obviously I've been artist David Harper, or at least that's how the Twitter folk refer to me, as well as Instagram. Do you want to put in your stuff before we leave?
Yes, I do. I'm Mardulus. You can find more of me at Lights Camera Initiative on Twitter, where I talk for some of the people some of the time. Additionally, you can find me every other Monday on the Tainted Lands channel. And coming December, you're going to be able to catch me on Fuck Cancer Roll Dice, running a game of Monsters and Other Challenge things. So, keep up with all that.
Cool. Anything you want to throw out before we...
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween from this point in the timeline.
Of course, by the time this
Goodbye.
comes out, Halloween will pass by 3 weeks. But
Well, from our point in time, I understand.
Bye!
A lot of videos.